Hi, uh, welcome back. This is part 2 of our Apache web server administration training. In this video, we are going to set up our very own forward and reverse proxy server using Apache web server. So, how exactly we are going to do that? You guys will see now. But before we are, going to start it, let's do some basic configuration which is required. We will simply check out which modules of Apache are enabled. So in order to do that, we'll simply move to etc Apache and mods enabled, clear and do a quick ls. And here all the modules that are enabled in Apache are residing. You guys can see here proxy balancer, proxy HTTP, uh, and so on. All these modules are enabled for this Apache. Okay, and what if your module is not enabled? Then simply what you guys can do is sudo a2 enable mod and then the name of module. Let's say proxy HTTP is the module required, and you will simply enter, and it says module proxy already is enabled. Okay, so this is how you guys can enable proxy module. Next, what thing you guys have to do is check out if we are running our Apache server or not. Sudo service Apache status. It is running properly. Okay, alright. Next, what is the core of our lecture? As we have described, we are going to discuss in this lecture how to set up forward proxy server and reverse proxy server. So first thing I am going to do is forward proxy server. In order to configure Apache as our forward proxy server, we have to go ahead and modify our default Apache enabled configuration file, and there it is. You guys can see here. Okay, what actually I cannot see here it properly, so I will simply go ahead nano editor. Okay, here it is. As you guys can see, I already have some directives here. Proxy request on and proxy via on. What these module directives do? These directives set our Apache server as forward proxy server. What exactly will happen? Now I wanna show you guys using a simple image. So I'll go for paint. Let's say here is a client. Okay, client asks to find out google.com, and the request goes to our forward proxy server. So our forward proxy server goes to google.com, brings the data back, and then sends that data to the client. So in this way, if this server has IP 1.1.1.1 and our server has 2.2.2.2, what will happen? the Google server will see this IP address of our server, whereas this address can be the request sent by this client can be seen our own Apache access logs. Now let's do it practically. So I'll simply enable proxy requests via on and proxy via on. Okay. Alright, I'll simply go ahead and save it. Okay, so now I am going to save it and restart the Apache server. Service Apache 2 restart. Great. Now if we go ahead and look out the IP address, this is the IP address we currently have this machine at this machine 104, but and if we access localhost, localhost, and if you visit it, it says welcome to my apache. Now if I look at my logs, access logs, you guys can see my IP address 127.0.0.1 is being printed here. But if I configure this browser as using reverse proxy of my device, that is 0.104 at port 80, then what it is going to look like. Let's say local host and hit enter. Welcome to my Apache, and if we go ahead and see here, we can see that 103 here it is, and the IP address, this is the IP address of this machine, and to confirm it, if we send a IP config, you guys can see that it is 0.103. So now if this machine uses anything, if it visits google.com, then what is going to happen? The server is redirecting that request to my server. You guys can see here, get google.com. Now this service is not, this site is not requested by my this machine. It is actually requested by this Windows machine and this browser. But you guys can see that in logs I can identify, because traffic is being forwarded from my Apache server, and I can simply see the request, date and timestamp, URL, user agent, and so on. Great. So this is how you guys can set our forward Apache proxy server. Now we are going to configure our reverse proxy server using Apache. Alright, so what we have to do is simply now again edit the configuration file, and now what we have to do is set this directive off, again this directive off, proxy bus and proxy bus. Now what should exactly happen? If someone tries to visit my root at localhost, he should be redirected to google.com. This is how exactly it is going to work. We'll just look by running it. So save this configuration file, close it, restart your Apache, and then try to analyze what is happening. So if now I refresh the page, I should not be able to access this page because the proxy server is not refusing the connection. Actually, I have applied it here again. And now if I write google.com and refresh the page and go here, now I look at logs apache access.log. Now we should not be able to access the logs, but still we are going to access the logs. Something is messed up. I'll quickly verify. Okay, I think the misconfiguration was here. I want to show you guys. I just messed it up. Apache 2 and sites enabled. We didn't uncomment this. This was commented, so this was causing the issue. We must have set proxy preserve host on. Okay, now if I save it, close it, and restart the Apache 2 ctl restart. Oops. Could not reliably determine the server's fully qualified domain and proxy. This is just a normal warning, so just go ahead and restart the Apache, and there it is. Now if we go ahead and visit the google.com, we can see that the google.com has been accessed. But if we go ahead and try to visit localhost, what do we get? Now if we go ahead and access the localhost, you guys can see that I am going to get an error, and IP being logged here is 127.0.0.1, and this is IP address of my loopback localhost, not IP address of this machine, because this machine has IP address of 192.168.0.103, and we are going to verify it once again by config, and there it is, 0.103. So if we now go ahead and access the localhost, we can see that here we have the loopback IP address, not the one we have configured as reverse proxy. Great. So this is how you guys can set your own reverse proxy server and forward proxy server using Apache. If we refresh it, we are going to see the old error. And this is how Apache reverse and forward proxy modules work. Hope you guys have enjoyed learning it. Please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good luck.